Hey y'all, it's your girl Miss Tubies, and I'm taking you on the front row of the Power Book 2 red carpet. Don't you go nowhere. We basically watch you grow up throughout the past 7 years, from the first Power to now. What is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned since then?
The biggest lesson, I mean, there's so many lessons I learned, but there's definitely one thing that always sticks to me in any situation I'm in that 50 told me. It was a minute ago he told me this, but he said never feel too entitled, because that's when you deprive yourself. So when you feel too entitled to something else, it could be something way bigger out there that's a blessing, and you ignoring that because you entitled to one thing. So just got to be open-minded and can't be too entitled. That's really it.
That's a good lesson. And Tariq, I know he's gonna learn a couple lessons this season because it ended off crazy. What can fans expect? I know you can't tell too much, but every other character for every spinoff, the show has their name in the title, except for you. When do we finally get to see that ghost part of Tariq?
That's the biggest thing this season. I feel like Tariq is, you know how he's so adamant on just not accepting the fact that he's like his father. Like this season, you see him fighting that, and he's figuring himself out. And I feel like the biggest part of him figuring himself out, knowing himself, is knowing and accepting the fact that he's like Ghost. So him, struggling to accept that is gonna show this season, and it's crazy. It's crazy. He makes a lot of crazy decisions, and you'll see how it affects him.
I can't wait to see it. But unrelated to the show, I love how hard you represent your Jamaican roots. Do you feel like it's important for you to represent where you're from? Because back in the days, it wasn't cool. Like you had to be like a Yankee or just American, So do you feel like it's important for you to represent your roots publicly?
Of course, it's definitely important to represent your roots. Why wouldn't you? I love my roots. I love Jamaica. I love everything about Jamaica. So I definitely put that on the forefront. But it's important to embrace your roots, because that's what you are. That's in your blood, and that's what you're gonna keep continuing to produce. So.
And how you know Vibes Cartel? Because when I seen the birthday host, I was like, what?
I'm a brother man. You G that man.
Where can fans expect to see you in the future? Because I know this isn't gonna be forever. So what does Michael Rainey Jr. have next?
Damn near everything. I want to direct. I want to write. That's what I'm actually working on now. I'm writing. Music, of course, I produce. I want to do all types of stuff, but I'll keep that on the hush for now. I got a few things that I can't really speak on yet. Hopefully soon, I could. This confidentiality stuff lifts up, but I got some stuff in the works for sure.
So, what can fans expect from this season of Power Book 2?
Well, let's see. Tariq is in a lot of trouble. Y'all know what he did at the end of last season, so it's not gonna be good. He decided to commit a murder with Kane, probably the worst person you could possibly do that with. So there are gonna be a lot of stakes with that. There's gonna be a lot of complications with Monet, with Mary J. Blige's character, and what happens to her this season. And then I think one of the kind of biggest overarching things is that we've got a lot of romance. We like to say Tariq is kind of in a love rectangle this season, because it's not a triangle, because there's 3 chicks. So we'll see how that plays out.
And the Power brand has expanded so much. Like it's now a cinematic universe, as people call it on Twitter. Which spinoff is your personal favorite?
Well, Ghost is the one I created myself, and Ghost is really the continuation of Power Book 1. So for me, it's the one that's closest to my heart. But the other 2 are fabulous in their own way. Raising Kanan is so intense, and Patina Miller is probably one of the best actors on television right now, period. And then as for Force, everybody loves Tommy. So it's like, you can't lose, What is your favorite thing about portraying Monet Tejada, or your favorite characteristic about Monet Tejada?
She, by any means necessary, is going to get what she wants. But she has a lot of love in her heart for her children. And by any means necessary, she's going to make sure they eat and that they're safe.
Can you resonate with that by any means necessary attitude?
Of course I can. That's why I've been here doing what I'm doing for so long. Because by any means necessary, I'm not letting anybody take me down, anybody make me suffer ever again.
So what are some changes that fans can expect to see in Drew in season 2 in comparison to season 1?
Okay, so Drew is going to be a lot darker in season 2. He's going to make some grown man decisions in season 2, and he's going to whoop a lot of ass. Can we say ass? Can I say ass? Okay, you're going to whoop a lot of butt.
Can you relate to your character in any way? Like, what are some ways that you identify with Drew?
Drew's an artist, and I rock with him because of that. He's a kindred spirit, and I admire Drew so much because he's a great listener, and he's very intellectual and thinks a lot ahead. And I admire that quality about him because I feel like I don't have those things, and so I need to cultivate those things better in myself for sure.
And I know you guys are touching on a lot of themes throughout the season. What are some of your favorite themes that was touched on?
Do the ends justify the means? I think that theme sticks with me a lot.
So I know Diana is going to be moving on up the family tree throughout this season. How is it, evolving as a character this season?
I think it's beautiful because in season 1, she was so innocent and under her mother's thumb. This season, you're going to see her mature. She's really going to be standing firm, standing in her power. And I love that because she's shedding some of that innocence off of her. She's growing up.
How is it working alongside Mary J. Blige as your mom?
Fire. She's so dope. I learned so much from her just because she's a legend in this industry. So it's you're learning in the entertainment industry as a whole. You know what I mean? She's teaching us so many different things. It's one of those things as the kids, the Tejada kids, we just shut up and listen. All right, this is some advice we need. Be quiet and take this and apply it, So it's dope to get to learn from her and work with her and get to know her. It's dope.
What can fans expect from your character this season? Because I know you're in the midst of a little love rendezvous going on. So what can we expect?
Okay, so for this season, fans can expect Lauren to just be, a typical teenage girl who is trying to figure things out. Little love triangle kind of going on, and you also see her coming into her own this season. So you get to see her making her own decisions versus last season, we saw that she was trying to go to school and do what her parents wanted her to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you're basically a veteran actress, even though you're still young. And, we have Michael Rainey Jr. on set. He's he's getting up there on the ladder. How is it working together?
It's amazing. I always tell Michael, I'm to be your age and have what you have, I'm just shocked at how humble and kind he is. And since day one, he's been nothing but sweet, kind, professional, and has welcomed us all with open arms. And if you say this is his show, he will correct you real quick and say it's ours. So that's really sweet of him.
We've been watching you on the small and big screen for a long time, from Everybody Hates Chris, now with The Power, and I know you have a Christmas movie coming up. What else can fans see you in?
No, I'm just kidding. No, Sunday, the 21st is the Christmas movie and Power. So those two things for now, and I'm just busy with getting those out there, and then I'll start auditioning for some other stuff soon, and I'll keep y'all posted.
So, Sax, how was it filming for this season throughout COVID?
Well, dealing with COVID for us was gentle, I would say. We came in, everyone was on pins and needles and trying to be extra careful, and I think that we managed it really successfully. We were one of the first companies to come back and get back to it, so we felt like we were a bit of a guinea pig, and we had to get it right. And I think we nailed it.
So, based on the way the last season ended, I assume that Sax and I don't remember Method Man's character's name, Davis. Sax and Davis, the dynamic of their relationship is going to evolve, I'm assuming, based on the outcome of the case. How was it working with Davis so closely and in a different setting? Now you guys aren't opposites. I'm assuming you guys are about to start teaming up. How was that?
So it sounds like what you're asking is, do I think that Davis McLean and Cooper Saxe should have their own spinoff? And I would say I think it's a pretty interesting idea. I think you could get a lot of drama out of that. Working with him on the other side now, where we're teaming up, it's very weird for Cooper Saxe because I've been hunting down the St. Patrick's for 7 years, 7 seasons, and now I'm defending them. So it's a bit of an anomaly, and I'm very interested to see how the fans respond to the turn of events.
Sax has been through a lot, and I'm sure that this season will touch on many themes. Which was one of your favorite themes that was touched on for season 2?
I think the thing that is most interesting theme-wise for me in season 2 is, what are you willing to do to get what you want, and are you willing to live with the consequences?
I already know that we can expect a lot from your character this season. But, without spilling too much, what can fans expect? Like, what's happening with Braylon's evolution? What can we see?
I mean, it's crazy to see where Braden started and where he is now. I mean, in my head, the 10 episodes have already happened, so I'm thinking of where he ends up at 210, and I'm like, you guys have no idea because it's crazy.
It's not in a ditch, right?
No, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything like that, but all I know is it's insane to see where Braden started in season 5 and where he ends up at the end of season 2. So I just love the evolution, and I'm just excited to see where it goes.
I know Braden, he wasn't really feeling the pressure of like living up to his family's name. Are we going to see that at all throughout the season?
Yeah, you'll definitely see him fight against that, that's for sure. You're going to see him not want to be a part of his family, understandably so. And you're going to want to see him just dive deeper into the game, which he loves, and it's exciting.
Do you see the comparisons to Tommy online?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it.
What do you think?
I think it's funny. I love it. I think it's great. I love the Power fans have the best memes. I send some of this stuff to like Michael, and because I'll wake up earlier than him because he sleeps pretty late, and I'll send it to him, and he'll wake up and he'll be like, bro, who made this? A lot of the memes are the best, so keep sending me memes, please. They're so funny.
And what are some difficulties that you guys faced during production throughout COVID?
I mean, obviously, it was a lot of production stuff, like not that many people on set. I love food, so the whole like food situation being in containers was tough. But yeah, it was more social for me because I just love going to everyone's dressing rooms and messing with everyone, and we couldn't really do that. They were like, you got to stay here. So, but I won't say anything, but.
Do you resonate personally with any characteristics that Braden has?
I mean, I'd say that we're very similar, obviously, besides the dealing drugs part. I'd say that our personalities are very similar, where we like to have fun, we like to be funny, we like to make people laugh. And we also have a serious side, so that's kind of how we're similar. But we differ because, we grew up a little differently, and I kind of didn't have the same stuff that Braden did.
So Tariq is in the middle of like a love squirrel involving you. How does it feel to portray that on screen?
I think it's really special for me, at least, because people think that Effie is all about Tariq, but that's really not how it is. Effie is all about her money, and Tariq is very pretty to look at. So, gotta occupy your time somewhere.
I don't think anyone thinks Effie is about Tariq. I think we all know she about herself. Can you relate to your character in any way? Like, is there certain characteristics in Effie that you resonate with personally?
Yeah, we're definitely very different, but in a lot of ways we are the same. She does have that sort of mysterious confidence, and I believe I carry that as well. She's spicy. I get told that a lot. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Where you from?
I'm from Topeka, Kansas, actually. Born and raised, but I live in Atlanta now, so.
You might have a little spice in there. Who knows?
Just a little something.
So what is your favorite theme that will be touched on throughout this season? Because it just seems like a lot. We were left with a lot of cliffhangers. So I know that we're going to get the answers now. So your personal favorite theme, which is it?
I'm going to leave a lot of this as a surprise because I know a lot of the themes haven't been revealed yet. But out of what has been revealed, I really like how they play with free will versus what's already written in the stars. Because I feel like that all just depends on what kind of person you are. Spiritual people are going to say things are already written. But then more logical people are going to say that, it's all about what you do and nothing is meant to be. So I think it's up to the viewers. Yeah, that's my personal favorite though.
Lorenzo has definitely been kept alive in spirit throughout the first season. Will we get some more of Lorenzo in season 2?
Unfortunately, a lot of that is still to be determined. Lorenzo's action is going to kind of slowly escalate, and how that action and in what direction it goes, I'm afraid I can't really tell you. But I do promise that, that molten magma is going to turn into lava at some point. It's a slow rise, but it's going to get there.
And how's the experience for you portraying an incarcerated character?
I actually never thought of him as incarcerated. He lives in his own. It's really an empire. He runs the joint, so he's not in jail. He's just between some walls, but he's not in jail. He's controlling the game.
He has a whole oasis out there.
He's got people working for him. He ain't missing anything. Lorenzo's doing just fine.
And I personally love the Afro-Latino representation in the Lorenzo kids. How do you feel about that?
I love it. It's great because in my own family, I have the same kind of like the same rainbow of colors, if you will. Cousins that are darker, cousins that are lighter, light eyes, dark eyes, and this is a representation of what Latin families are like. You know, it's should have been known a long, long time ago, but apparently now they're finding out. So.
Well, my family's from Panama, so I knew, and my family definitely looks like a rainbow as well. I have an uncle that looks just like you named Santiago, so.
I have an uncle that looked just like you as well. So it's that's what I mean. It's like, you know, we have a lot of, we come from a lot of different, we're all heading to a multicultural world at some point anyway, so that's just, we could resist it all we want, but that's where we're all going.
So we're going to miss you on this season. Like, Tariq made a huge mistake on the last episode. Have you ever played dead before that moment?
I haven't. That was the first one playing dead. It's quite the experience. I've never done it before. But yeah, Jabari's dead, but listen, he's gonna be in ghost heaven. So I'm with the other angels and the spirits of ghosts of Christmas past and all that good stuff.
Considering that was your first time, how was the process recording that scene? It was just so intense for me personally.
Yeah, it's intense. You never know what to expect. It was cold, it was late, it had to be 2 a.m, and there's a surreal moment when you just drop in and everything is real, and you have the gun, and you have Tariq, and you got the blood, and you die, and it's natural, and it feels good. At least I hope it looks good. I hope
It did. You did that.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And where can fans see you next in the future?
Yes, so I have a film that I did coming out at the top of the year. It's going to be called 40 Winks with Susan Sarandon, John Turturro. So yeah, check that out. Come and see.
We miss you, Tommy. We cannot wait for your spinoff to air. When can fans expect to see it?
We're coming in hot and fresh February 6th, early next year. So that's 2022. So you better be there. So otherwise, you're not going to have anything to talk about with all your friends.
And what can fans expect? Because I hope we get to see more of Tommy's origin story, but he kind of left on a whim out to the West Coast. What are fans gonna see in your spinoff?
Yeah, I mean, there will be some parts of Tommy's origin story. To me, the more interesting part is that the origin story for Tommy, what I take solace in is Tommy is Southside Jamaica Queens through and through. Tommy doesn't veer from the streets. He always pays respect to the streets and the game that got him out of those streets and elevated him into the person that he was, and that is somebody who is fully invested in the game. He's gangster to the core, and that's the way of life he chose, and he pays respect to it. And if you are about it, he's going to make you live up to what you've promised. I'm more excited about the other cast of character, like Isaac Keys, who plays Diamond, and his brother, Chris Lofton, who plays Jannard Sampson, the Sampson brothers. They're just amazing actors. This new world, they bring a new, authentic Chicago. Chris Lofton is a Chicago native, and he's coming back from Los Angeles to fulfill his destiny in the Power universe. I couldn't be more proud of him. Gabrielle Ryan, who's amazing in the show. And then we have the man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Flanagan, playing the gangster, Walter Flynn. His kids, Lily Simmons and Shane Harper, are also amazing. And we know Shane from Hightown, so keeping that Stars family in the Stars family. And then you just don't get more beautiful than Lily Simmons, who's also, her beauty is only matched by her talent. So I can't wait for everybody to get to see what we've got in store for them with Power Book 4.
Such a glowing review, Tommy.
Yeah. You know, I only know how to be truthful.
I cannot wait to see it. And is Joseph gangster like Tommy? Can you relate to that character?
I mean, I'm not. I don't know. Try me.
Thank you.
No. I don't. Listen, Tommy is real, and the only fact that he is alive is the only reason that he's alive is because he hides in plain sight. And he never underestimates anybody or never takes any day for granted. Every day is a good enough day to die. Every day is a good enough day to live.
Are we going to get a chance to dive into his childhood?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about being a part of Raising Kanan? You were one of the new characters, and you were one of the favorite characters, at least my personal favorite.
I like that. You know, Symphony sort of was, at least in the first season, the only good guy. He was sort of like...
Wait, hold on.
We can only talk about the first season. That's what I'm saying.
English?
Yes, I'm British. Yes. So he was sort of like the through line at the heart, if you like, of Kanan. And it was nice to play something different in such a down and dirty world. So I definitely had a lot of fun, and that was a big draw for me. But Power is huge in London and huge in England, and it is great to be a part of it.
How was the audition process?
Well, I met Courtney, actually auditioned, I don't know if I could say that, for Ghost. There was a character on Ghost that didn't end up happening. And yeah, and that character didn't end up happening, but they said they were interested in me in being part of the show, and I thought, no, they're not going to do it, and then I came in and read for Symphony, and I had to do that audition, and then I had to do a screen test with Patina Miller, who plays Rock, and she's grueling. She'll put you under the thumb, so I survived that, and here we are.
How'd you perfect your accent? I would have never thought from watching the series that you were British.
That's a big compliment. I watch a lot of TV, a lot of documentaries on you guys. But I mean, if you're going to be in the film world, you have to. Nowadays, 99% of films are made with American accents. So, but it's fun to switch back and forth. I'm actually doing a project down in Atlanta at the moment, The Game, where I get to use my own. They're doing a reboot of the old classic, and I get to use my natural British accent there. So it's fun to switch it up.
It's crazy because for all the new popular shows, there will be at least one British actor, and now people are starting to complain like, oh, you guys are taking the jobs or whatever. What are your thoughts on that controversy?
I think there's plenty to go around. I think a lot of people are doing very well, and a lot of American actors, Black American actors, are doing fabulous. So it's great to see, and it's great to be a part of that. So I don't pay attention to that foolishness.
So how was it filming for Power Book 2 this season in the middle of COVID? It took a really long time for it to return. Seems like forever. What were some complications that you guys faced?
Well, it just more time. I think with something like this, you have to be so careful and so diligent, and that just requires more time, probably more money, although that's not really my department. But everyone just handled it with a lot of grace and a lot of patience, and I'm really proud of the work we did during this season. I really am.
And what is your favorite part of the season? I know you can't tell too much, but we can assume that Tariq is going to get in a lot of trouble, and everything that we saw in the last season will be answered during this season. So what was one of your favorite themes that the show touched on rather than favorite part?
We really dive into ethics and, what choices you make, even though you might be working towards a really good goal, like a capital G good goal, but maybe you do some things to get there that are a little less good, and so what's it all for? So that ethical question I think we can all really relate to, and it's kind of interwoven into the whole season. It's exciting.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure to tune into Power Book 2 Ghost to see what Tariq has in store for this semester.